Yo, what's up, all you burners out there? This is Weedman420 with the Weedman420 Chronicles. How are my burners doing out there? Dot Boy, what's up?
What's going on?
Polly.
What's up, everybody?
Shotty.
Yo.
She's in the house today. We love it. Hey, y'all, we're going to be talking about some cool stuff today. What are cannabis concentrates and what are oils and how we smoke? And Dav, you vape, bro?
Say cannabis concentrates 5 times fast.
Cannabis concentrates, cannabis concentrates, cannabis concentrates.
I do vape, bro.
You do vape? Polly, you vape?
3 times.
I know, I couldn't do it 5. I would have stumbled. Over my
words.
words.
Learn to count, learn to vape. Y'all gonna learn to vape.
Yeah, man, we all vape in this room. We all like our cannabis oils and stuff like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about and touch base and teach you all what oils are all about. And, you know, for all you beginners out there that are kind of not weed-esque smokers, don't want to smoke the flower, you know, some of you older people like myself. Yes, Dav, I know I'm old. But
as fuck.
But for all you beginners out there want to know what cannabis oils are, they're efficient. They don't smell a lot. You know, you could take them on the road with you. I've taken them on planes. I've taken them on road trips. I've smoked them in closet areas of bars. Shh.
You know, doing in the closet at a bar?
Just smoking my vape. You know how it is.
Makes sense.
Speaking of bars, it's funny when you like go out and everyone just whips out their pens and then all just starts like comparing.
Oh yeah, I saw that going on last night at that wedding I was at.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, I saw one of the like bridesmaids just sucking one down. I was like, oh nice.
I like how you say sucking on it down. That's just
she had like the big long pen one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Not even trying to hide it.
Womping it, just going crazy, like right out in the open. I was like, it's one of those weddings.
You know the funny thing about it, we were out at doing a pop up the other day, and it was kind of interesting just to watch someone come up to us and going, "Oh, you guys got a vape? Can I have a hit?" And they're so apt. Like if we were smoking a joint or smoking our bowl, people would be looking at us funny. Mm-hmm. But people don't even blink an eye when it comes to vape cartridges. It's really different to see this wave of concentrates. Just watching people smoke it, just passing around, just people passing around everywhere I go. You know,
it's like that new age like kind of thing. You know,
yeah.
Everyone's kind of got like the vape with them. It's just easier to have.
Yeah, you vape, bro. Yeah, I got a vape, but it's not even vape nicotine. It's vape cartridge of what kind of flavor you have. Are you smoking a live resin? Are you smoking a distillate? Does it have like terpene flavors in there? Or does it taste like blueberry, cantaloupe, like the one I have that I smoke by my bedside? I have the cantaloupe kush that I always hit before I go to bed.
I think people really bought into like the vaping is safer thing, and they just kind of are willing to just grab it and not even question it.
Yeah.
And if we're out there smoking a joint or something, it's so obvious and you can smell it. So no one wants to get caught with that. You're not. It's if you just smoke your pen, no one really knows what's in that.
Right.
You know.
I've had like people come up and just like grab my pen. Can I hit this? I'm like, yeah, sure. And like they start womping it, and then they go, "Is this like a nicotine one or is this a weed one?" Like, you just really went gung ho on that one, huh?
You're fucked. But you know, there's common types of concentrates, and we're gonna hit today on vape cartridges and stuff. But there's tinctures, there's capsules, there's hash, there's shatter, wax, dab oils and stuff like that. But we're gonna really talk about today about vape cartridges and how to smoke oils and stuff like that. So I'm gonna hit a little bit on the types of cannabis oils real quick. There's CBD oil, there's THC oil, there's the mixture of the 2-to-1s, the 1-to-1 ratios, the 14-to-1s, the 18-to-1s, and that's when you mix a little bit of CBD with
Gotta
THC.
Have a good ratio.
Gotta have that ratio. But what I want to say is find the right cannabis concentrate for you. You know, especially you newbies out there that are gonna smoke for the first time and you're unfamiliar with flower and the types of ratios that flower have. Try a vape cartridge, but a low dose. You know, they all come in different percentages now. You know, there's I've smoked anywhere from 50% THC, THCA to 60 to 80, all the way up to 98. And if you're not used to it, it's a good way to learn how to dose yourself and start off with one hit and see how it feels. It usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes to take effect, sometimes sooner. But just know, and when you graduate into vape cartridges, just know what you're smoking. Read the label. Ask your bud tender. Don't buy some back alley shit that Dav's going to be talking about here. But just learn what you're going to be smoking and taking in and ingesting, because there is a lot of different ways to smoke cartridges now, and so many different flavor profiles and THC content and CBD content. So just know what you're taking in. So Paulie's going to take it over and go into a little bit about distillate oils and talk a little bit about what they are. And go ahead, Paulie, take it over.
So before we get into distillates, I'm going to talk about like how you can vape your weed, basically. So you can have like not portable vaporizers, which you're gonna like plug into a wall outlet, and with those you can either use like actual flour or concentrate, and it just kind of heats it up for you. These are pretty nice because you can control the temperature well. You can really like control like how you're producing your vape a little bit more. But they don't have like that portable aspect. Like you got to do these at home. Like a popular one is Volcano. If you've seen those around, that's like a popular vaporizer. So that's one way you can vape it. And then you have your more portable ones, which are like if you have like a vape battery, you can just put a cartridge on top and use it like that. So those are more like your cartridges. And then you also have things like PAX makes, it's almost like a Juul type thing, if you know what a Juul is, like a little e-cig. It's like that, and they make their own cartridges, and it's super concealable. They're awesome. And then you also have PAX again, I guess. PAX
I
is
have
the
the
only
G-Pen.
like yeah. Well, the G-Pen is
yeah.
like the Juul knockoff,
Yeah.
like for weed.
Yeah, I like the G
Those are,
Pen.
like, the
The
most
G Pen's
popular,
dope.
But I'm
Snoop
saying
Dogg's got that thing endorsed.
For PAX again, they have also like portable flour vaporizers.
Yep.
So you don't have to just use like cartridges. You can actually use flour, and some people say that's like the best way to smoke your weed is to use the vaporizers that do flour.
The first time I ever smoked a vaporizer flower was a little oney that I bought at a vape shop. They were selling it. And this was like going back 2013, 14. And I stuffed, the guy's like, oh, you just stuff a little flour in there. It's got a little heating coil on the bottom.
That's like a Dyna vape. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was
Those
real.
are
It was
popular,
just, it was like a one hitter. And I remember I was out on the road and I packed it and I'm like, this thing is fucking awesome, man. I fucking hit that thing. I had it was like taking a little one hitter, but just not having to have the whole smell or anything like that. It was a good hit too. I got baked. I used that for a long time.
They say those are the best because you can control the temperature, and if you burn marijuana too hot, that's when you produce those carcinogens, like with anything else. So that can go for when you're smoking flower. If you burn it too hot, like you can kind of get those carcinogens in your lungs. And then if you use a cartridge and you make it too hot, like those produce a bunch of bad stuff. Like you can get a formaldehyde from those. But with the flower vaporizers, like the portable ones or like the desktop ones, you can control that heat, and you're also using flour, which doesn't have a lot of the additives that go into some vapes, like propylene glycerol or however you pronounce it, which is
glycol.
Yeah, it's a thinning agent, and it's not necessarily the best thing to consume. So if you really want what people say is like the safest method, use one of those like flower vaporizers. So then I want to talk about distillates, and that's basically what you're getting whenever you smoke. Like most of your pens are made from a distillate. So when you go to distill, like the actual weed, there's like 3 steps. You got to winterize it, decarboxylate it, and then distill it. So
Kind of almost like your car.
Yeah, with the winterization, it's like to purify the crude extracts, and like get rid of those byproducts. So like you're getting rid of like waxes, fats, and lipids and stuff like that. And then they do some other things to basically kind of just clear it out. So that's like the cleaning process. Then you go and you decarb it, and that's gonna basically turn like the cannabinoid like THCA into THC, which is gonna make it actually affect you. So they have to like heat it up to a certain temperature, and then that's gonna produce that THC.
Yeah, real quick, sorry to interrupt, but I know burning distillate or burning cartridges, I fucked up a couple times and I had the heat too hot. Like I've had it. You need to keep that right temperature ratio, like between like 4.5 to 7. If you go, I remember I had mine up to like I forgot to turn my vape down. I had it like 36 because I vape regularly, just regular nicotine vape too.
Yeah, you vape, bro.
And I had it set at 36, and I switched the cartridge on there, and I lit it up and totally fucking burnt the whole cartridge.
That's the worst.
Yeah, and all it did was taste burnt. The high wasn't there anymore. I totally wrecked the cartridge. So point on point, make sure you have your temperature set correctly.
Check your temps.
Yep.
Yeah, it's big. I'm gonna hit on the actual temperature you should use in a sec, but so then you're gonna distill it, the actual like distillation process, and that's where they basically just separate all the cannabinoids and terpenes. You're gonna have like THC alone, CBD alone, and then whatever terpene you want to name, they're gonna be alone too. So that's basically how you make these distillates, and then when they go and they make like the actual like cartridge, they're going to add those things back together. So you originally separated them, and now you go to make the cartridge, you put your amount of THC you want in there, your amount of CBD, and then you're also going to add back in some of those terpenes. That kind of brings up a question with vaping, because as they're taking out all these things and separating them, we've talked about the I'm blanking on the name. What is that effect that we've been talking about all these times?
The Mandela effect.
No.
Oh, the entourage effect.
Yeah, the entourage effect. There we go.
Thank God.
So that's like
420s here.
That's like with the entourage effect. So when you separate all those things, like you don't get the same result. So when they do it with the oils, there's some question of if you're still getting these in the same way, if they're still going to interact the same after they've been separated. So it's a question of when you're smoking these strains that you love in flower form, are you getting the actual same result when you smoke it in pen form? Which I don't know, because I feel like I have smoked the same strain across, and I always think that pens are like, or cartridges are completely different high from flower.
I agree 100%. Yep.
And so this could be a reason why. They don't really like have the evidence for it yet, but it's just something to consider when you're trying to decide like how you want to ingest it medicinally. And that could be another reason to turn towards those vaporizers that use flower instead of like the oils. So then I want to just touch on a little bit of like some of the things you should like take into consideration when you use these cartridges in these any of these like oils. So you just want to make sure the like the point of combustion for when you're using them is 446 degrees Fahrenheit or 230 degrees Celsius for all you not Americans, because we just can't agree. So if you go above that temperature, that's when you have the risk of producing like formaldehyde, which is something you don't want to get into your lungs, and some other carcinogens. So you want to stay below that temperature. So remember that when you're using it. Also, there's worries about pesticides getting into these oils, because if you're not getting it from the right place and they're not going through the right distillation process or whatever process they use to basically make these oils, they could leave a lot of pesticides. And Dave's going to talk about that a little bit more later too. For that perfect temperature, just so you know, sorry I didn't let you know what it is, but it's thought to be around like 330 degrees Fahrenheit, 165 degrees Celsius. So if you're vaping and you know like what your battery produces like temperature wise, try to stay in that range. If you don't, try and look into it a little bit and find out where your pen sits and get one that's in that range. And then also when you get like these cartridges, they're in a plastic or they're in a metal, and you don't really know what that plastic or metal is. So if you're getting these super sketchy ones and it's like some crappy plastic like BPA or something, which I know like that's not really around that much anymore, but if you get some bad plastic and you're heating that up, who knows what you're inhaling. So look out for that. Yeah, so just remember those kind of things. Yeah, it's just some stuff to take into consideration before you decide to switch over to like cartridges versus flower. But now we're going to jump over to, you got live resin for us, right? Our favorite type of cartridge.
Yeah, also too, you know, there's some
stuff.
Yeah, I like the live resin, but there's some stuff you should know about too. Paulie brought up some good points, but also like I touched base a little bit before. Finding the right effects for you too is a big. How do you want to feel? Do you want to you know, what the concentrates can provide for you? You know, do you want to feel euphoric, which we all like the euphoric high, or do you want to feel gentle relaxation? Which I like at nighttime. Usually the concentrate I smoke at night, I want to relax. I'm going to bed. I want to wind down a little bit. Right. Do you want something that's non-intoxifying, like a CBD relief instead, where you're not getting that head high? So you want to figure out how you want to feel, and it all depends on the ingredients too. your desired high, look for potent and euphoric. So take that high THC oil, and you'll get there. Do you want to be, like I said, an extract that's equal mix of THC and CBD, which will get you that balance? I tend to go more so sometimes when I have my back aches. I want to be a balance. I do want the euphoric feeling, but I also want the body relief. I want the basically like the inflammation to go down.
You want it all.
I want it all. And then you get that therapeutic relief without the high, which sometimes I like. Sometimes I just want a body high with no head high, as you guys have heard me talk about and see me post on my stories, that critical cure, which is all CBD, very low THC, where I'm just like all body high, get a good 7-8 hours sleep. So it's just all about finding the right dose and the equal mix of what you're looking for. So explore, experiment, and try some different stuff, with the different oils. And it's a great starting point for everybody to really learn. Dav, real quick before I go into live resin, what do you tend to lean towards?
I like the live resin a lot. I always like that Cresco. Had that good one.
Oh yeah, the live resins are great.
Their live resin is very good. They had a good Granddaddy Purp one, which I would take right before I go to bed.
Granddaddy Purple.
And I love Granddaddy Purp. One of my favorite strains. Oh man, and like you were saying earlier, probably about the comparison with the strain to the cartridge itself. I did feel differences in it, smoking like Granddaddy Purp as a flower versus it through the live resin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like more so, and it hit me more so in the head. I was still tired afterwards because there's a very heavy indica, but like, I felt like I was hit harder from the live resin than I would from the flower.
Yeah, live resin is just. But before I go into live resin, I want to let you guys know, just in case if you're ever reading or you're talking to your bud tender or talking to people in general, just realize that there's two different types of runs that they use. They might use a trim run. Like just to trim the leaves, and from the harvest, they're loose, they're covered still in that rich live resin. The leaves are, and instead of just what they're not doing anymore is taking those leaves and the stems and all that extra stuff and throwing it away. They're now using it as live resin. They're using it and they're taking that stuff because there's so much terpene still in there and trichome still on those leaves. They don't want to waste it, so they're taking that trim. And then there's also the nug run too, where they're taking whole nugs and making concentrates and extracts from the cannabis flower.
The nug run?
The nug run.
I want that to be like an annual thing. I want the yearly nug run.
And what they use the whole plant. And so when you're looking at this stuff and you're looking at labels and you just see if it's made out of trim or see if it's made from a whole nug. One of the things I love watching videos of nowadays is, and I know it's not really live oil what we're talking about, but you ever see those heat pressers they're using now? They're taking whole nugs, the nug run, they're taking that whole nug, and they're taking it and this heat compress, and they're compressing it together, and you just see all the resin leaking out onto wax paper, and then they just scrape it up, and they make like, you can use it as dabs, or you could smoke it out of a vape or anything. Yeah. I want to buy one myself because they're actually pretty cheap now. They're pretty dope. And
where you just take them.
I just put it right here in the basement session so we could just do it live. Just do it live, baby. We'll smoke it live. Smoke it live.
That fresh shit.
That's what I'm talking about, man. The freshy, the better.
I'm pretty sure I heard that Action Bronson does that.
Does he?
Yeah, he presses his own hash.
See, that's the shit right there, man. I want to buy. They're cheap, those machines now too. You can find like little small ones and just take like one of those big nugs we just got. You take that and put it between wax paper. You just watch that fucking shit just come right out.
You could also do with like a hair straightener.
Make your really sauce
with it.
Make your sauce that you like so much.
Yeah, if you just want to do like something in a bathtub in the basement, and just get like that. Get the hair straightener, press it down.
It doesn't work that way. You need hard, dude. It's too steel.
Place. You sit there. Yeah, you can do it.
Your ass. I want to see you do it.
All right,
I want to watch you do it.
All right, go get me a hair straightener.
Mrs. Weedman's got one upstairs right now.
I don't want to.
But you put it in wax paper, so you don't get no resin on it. You're good. Her hair will be sticky.
Weedman, I ruined your hair straightener.
But we got resin.
We got resin. But so going into what now, we talked about the nug and the trim run a little bit, but live resin is labeled. What they do is they take the whole entire plant before it's dried or been cured, because they want all the terpenes, they want all the trichomes, they want all the flavor, they want all the aromatic compounds that give cannabis its flavor. So what they so what they do is they take it in a room at room temperature, and they take the freshly harvested plant and they extract the whole entire plant because they're getting everything from it, and they want to preserve those terpene profiles, and what they do is they freeze dry it and they store it freshly and extract it, and they put it into oils, and that's where you're getting all that flavor from. So that's just a basic live resin or live rosin, and I tend to like those a lot. I know, Dav, you were talking about how much you like the live resin and stuff like that. So
Very good stuff.
yeah, I do really prefer. What was that one we were smoking? We smoked the Outer Space by Cresco. That was a live resin one. That fucking put me in outer space.
Yeah, their reserve is very good.
Yeah, good one. So Dav boy, what do you got for us, man?
All right. Well, I did the people's work, took it hard to the streets, and got to the bottom of what you should all be looking for when you're getting these cartridges if you're not in a legal state. Obviously, we know these things are very popular. Just in 2018, there was $3 billion in legal concentrate sales. That's a 49% increase from the previous year.
I feel like everybody has pens. Mm-hmm. If you smoke weed, you probably have a pen somewhere. Everybody's got them.
I think I got like 5 of them lying around.
Yeah. By 2022, they're established estimating about 8.4 billion in those sales.
Yeah.
So that's 58% of concentrate spending from last year came from pre-filled cartridges. So they're taking up more than half of the industry right there, and that's all legal. It's like, why are they so popular? Like we said, they're compact, there's no smell, high THC. But what's harmful in them? We're looking at heavy metals, carbonyls, pesticides, like very, very bad stuff you don't want in there. You don't want to be putting in your body. Yeah, so these like counterfeit carts are usually non-certified batteries as well, and materials are not certified by the state. And they're either working improperly or they just don't work at all. Yeah. And you've heard of the cases where, like, oh yeah, did you hear that kid's like thing blew up in his pocket or some shit?
Yeah, well, there's reasons for that because they're using bad batteries, or they're fucking putting 2 batteries next to one another and shit like that. So yeah, it's just garbage.
And like they just don't heat enough sometimes, and like you get that like weak hit. So like if you're getting like very weak drags off your cartridges, you might have a bad battery on that thing, and that's just the cartridge itself. That's not like your pen itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, basically stuff like that, it doesn't come from, like, buying off the streets, though, because counterfeits can be sold at unlicensed shops. And we've heard David Silverberg talk about the unlicensed shops in Canada. They're all everywhere. We see them in our Instagram feeds when we're reading the news and stuff on this stuff. So, yeah, just looking at that, and the branding may look legit on the cart, but it's what's inside that's different, and basically just buy from a licensed retailer. And I did bring a popular cartridge here, the Organic Smart Carts, which I'm seeing all over the Reddits, are fake pens, or fake cartridges. That's a very good one to go on there if you're a Reddit user. Some guy just like pretty much made it himself. He's just like really interested, and I kind of got lost in it. Like you look at this thing, right in the middle of the cartridge, like the metal bar in there, that thing's fat as hell. So it's looking like it's giving the presence.
Isn't that called an atomizer or an
atomizer?
The
atomizer. Yeah, thank you for being thank you for being my brain.
You're welcome.
But yeah, the atomizer is really big as compared to like other ones you'd see, and that's just like giving it the like appearance that it's a 1 gram cartridge. You're probably getting like not even a quarter.
Just because that metal in there is taking up so much space.
Yeah, because they're usually much skinnier.
So a real one is the skinnier. Okay.
Much skinnier, and like you actually, it'll look fat with like the oil in there, but like as it goes down, you'll see.
Yeah.
But looking at this box here, like if you look at the back, it shows like the total THC, total CBD, and the CBD or CBN. That's just like printed right onto the box. That's not a sticker. If you look here at the Reserve by Cresco, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 stickers on this thing.
Yeah.
So someone is handling this thing with like in their hands.
Well, that's because the state, you have to do that packaging and you have to put those labels. That's the state makes you do that with the barcodes and all that stuff.
But if it's a sticker, you're looking at something legit. Somebody hand put this on there. These are just being mass produced. These smart cards. You're not like. That could just be anything. I don't know if that Blue Cookies is actually 85% THC. But and like what I'm looking at here with the Cresco one, it shows when it's packaged. It shows what's in there, how much weight, like it shows a half gram, and an expiration. You're not seeing how much is in this one. I'm assuming it's a gram because it's longer.
Yeah.
And it shows its Instagram on the side and like their website on the smart cart. Like,
Does it do it on the Cresco Live Resin one?
No, they don't sponsor. They don't have like their own.
They don't have that on there.
Their
Yeah.
Instagram
So
or anything. This just looks like, and like the smart cart, it's just a knockoff of the smart water.
right. Does it say what state that's from on there?
California.
It does. I've been hearing a lot that a lot of people are getting fake cartridges sent over from certain states, and you were saying also too there was also a difference in the screw-in hole too, right? Like what it looks like on the bottom. Some of them have different screws. That you sent me a picture of, like this one's real, this one's fake.
Yeah,
and what you're getting.
You could tell from the bottom. Those are guys who have like really keen eyes. I was seeing on those Reddits. I was
Okay.
like, damn, I didn't even like think about looking at that.
Right. Well, you tested that one from California, and then you were sampling both back and forth for like a week or so to try to see which one was better working and which one was actually true and which one was not. Give us your opinion on both and how it affected you. Did you get high off of one? Did you feel anything from one of them or not one of them? What was your experience on the streets with the one you got from a dispensary, a true dispensary, and one you got from the streets?
The dispensary one, it was hitting fine, really hard, like clean drags and a good like high. These smart cart ones, like weak drag, and I didn't just test one smart cart one. I got a couple of them. They didn't all have like a weak drag on them, or they didn't all not get me high. I did feel some, but sometimes you get like a headache after that.
Oh yeah.
And it just like having to hit it like surpluses of time to like feel anything. But like this one in particular, this Blue Cookies one, weak drag. You smell it like right through the box. You smell like a blueberry like whiff.
I wonder if they're adding like flavoring, not true terpenes, but they're adding, because I know there's some cartridges out there they are adding flavoring. Some cultivation centers are adding certain flavors. Like I've tried a raspberry one before, I've tried a blueberry one before, I've tried a watermelon one before. I have a cantaloupe one that tastes exactly like cantaloupe, and it's cantaloupe Kush.
Right.
But I've smoked cantaloupe Kush flower, and it doesn't have the cantaloupe flavor to it. You know, I mean, it tastes really nice and sweet, but I don't. But this, I mean, you take a piece of cantaloupe off of its fruit tray and ate it.
Well, what I think like also with the flower versus the cartridge, you get more consistency in like that terpene probably through the cartridge because there's more science.
Well, if they're if they're doing the live resin, yeah, because they're freeze drying that to save and preserve all the terpene flavors.
In there. I can't go up to like the plant itself and just be like, all right, I'm gonna make this thing smell like this.
Right.
Unless I'm just Febrezing the bitch.
Febreze. We know somebody that uses a lot of Febreze.
Stick to Ozil. But yeah, these like if these are what you're getting, that's fine. These smart carts, if that's what you got, just
But there was another brand too that Paulie and I were talking about that we saw. Somebody was trying to sell us. It was those. It was the King had the
Yeah, I've seen those like. It's like King or I don't know.
It had a King on there. I can't remember the name of it, but I've heard there was some
Mario Karts.
Yeah,
and there's the Supreme,
the Dank Vapes. Any of those that are like ripping off another logo, probably not good. Or if they have a cartoon image on them, they're probably not good either.
Yeah,
just because we saw in the Illinois law that got made, you can't have cannabis associated with a cartoon character.
Right.
And I've been seeing like. There's like Simpsons like smoking like weed on the fucking.
I mean, don't forget, there's a lot of people that make this stuff at home. I remember the first time I tried a cartridge. You know, back in like 2014, people were having them around, and they were making them in their house. Mm-hmm. You know, this is before Illinois had its dispensaries.
And you might be getting that, like if you're buying them off the black market, you don't know what you're getting.
Some of them were real good. Some of them got me really high. The colors were very off though, because don't forget, like Paulie was saying, they are made with butane. Now, butane, you can blow one. You can blow your house up if you do it wrong. So it should be done by a professional, not some back alley underground shit that you're getting. But I remember starting off and seeing the original cartridges. The oil was very dark, like almost blackish.
Yeah.
And that was back like, and then I watched as years and people started perfecting them, getting lighter. And I mean, I've seen ones with almost clear cartridges now.
I've had ones where you've given me where it was just straight black.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, no, still.
Yeah,
still
and
good.
I don't know what that's from so much.
Very
I don't know if
tasty.
that's the way they use the butane, because butane is very dangerous for your body. Now there is ingestible butane, which has got to be 99% pure, and then there's the shitty butane, which you shouldn't take in your body. So if you're buying it for some back alley, like you're talking about with these cartridges here, you don't know what they're using.
No, not at all.
You know, you don't know if they're using good butane or bad butane, or if they're really doing what they're saying they're doing. With it comes from CO2 extraction or the live resin, or if they're making bubble hash or whatever. If they're using dry ice to make, you don't know. So that's what we've been talking about when we talk about the last episode, when we talk about be careful of the snake oil salesman,
Right.
because you don't know what the fuck you're getting when you're buying it from the back alley.
No, you don't at all. And that's our job, is to inform other people.
Yeah.
That's why we kind of do
Absolutely,
this thing.
especially in your states there that aren't medical legal or recreational yet, and you're buying it from a buddy who got it from another guy. Man, just be careful what you're smoking, and be careful what you're taking in, because you don't know if they're putting propylene glycol in there and how much they're putting in there. If they're using vegetable glycerin, which is actually the better form to use than propylene glycol. The reason why they use it is it's a thinning agent, basically what it is, so you can
Right.
actually smoke it through the
They're
cartridge.
filled with thinning agent.
Right, so you can smoke it, because if it was just straight oil, it's too thick and it would
Way
clog
too
your
thick.
it would clog your
thick.
atomizer. So just know what you're taking and ingesting, and talk to people, get information, because information is the key. But we're gonna smoke now, right? We ready to smoke? Or Paul, you got some?
Yeah,
Paul, you got
just-
something else to say?
Real quick to like go back to our CBD episode, for the cartridges, the same way you can look for that third party like testing that gets done, so you can see everything that's actually inside. So look for that stuff too. If you really want to be safe, find a way to get it from a dispensary, but just watch yourself on the streets, because you never know what you're gonna get, and it's just gonna be it's a booming industry now, and so there's knockoffs coming everywhere, just like anything that gets big. So just be careful.
Also, look at that cartridge, too, if you're buying it off the streets. If you see, like, a bunch of little bubbles in there, that shows a telltale sign that someone's been hitting that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't-
really?
yeah,
I
you
didn't
don't
know
get the
that.
multiple little bubbles,
Okay.
usually. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
It usually means someone took a drag of it. You don't see that until after. That's when the first bubble kind of starts to expand. Or if you just put some hair on your chest and not be a baby back bitch, get a one hitter. Like the old school. No, I'm just playing. Smoke however you want.
Smoke smart, as Paulie always says. Paulie, what are we smoking today, brother?
So we got raspberry glue, and this is from. How do you pronounce the dispensary name?
I
forget.
can't pronounce it. I've been trying to figure it out. You want to spell it? Anybody want to spell it out?
Can I get a look at it?
This is actually a new cultivation center that just opened up
New,
in
new?
It's not
Carbondale.
on there.
It's
the name's not on here?
No, I'm looking up how to pronounce it because
Yeah,
I don't want to do
it's-
them dirty.
Yeah, but it is a new.
It's IESO.
ESO?
That's what I thought.
Oh,
ESO.
there it is. On the bottom right here. Garden manufactured by ESO.
Yeah,
But
out of
they're-
Carbondale.
Yeah, they're out of
Carbondale,
Southern Illinois,
Illinois.
Carbondale. So, yeah, it's Raspberry Kush and GG4. It's a hybrid indica dominant, and it smells pretty good. It smelled a little raspberry-ish, so we're gonna give it a whirl. It's our first time smoking it, so
I'm excited because they are a new cultivation in Illinois, and when I got wind that they were launching at my dispensary, I was super stoked. And we got 3 different strains from them. We're only smoking one today, but the nugs, right, Paulie? The nugs that were in these tubes that we got from them. Holy shit,
Yeah,
man!
they
You'll
look
see some
good.
pictures that Paulie will put on from some of these nugs. I'm super excited about smoking these guys. Go ahead, Paulie. Talk a little bit more about this strain
Holy
while
shit.
I rip.
yeah. So it's 23.87% THCA. So it's just heavy THC strain.
Could say that again.
Yeah. The label doesn't really have much to say. Doesn't really say anything about terpene profile or anything.
Let's go, Illinois.
I
Get your
love the
shit
logo.
together.
Yeah, it's I
It's
don't
like
know.
old school. Like,
Yeah, it is a little old school. It's on there crooked though, so they could.
They'll get it down.
They're new. They'll get it up.
Welcome to the game, guys.
Yeah, welcome to the game. We'll talk about how we feel off it in a second, and that's what really matters more than the container. So, Dave, let's get in the papers.
In the papers with Dive Boy.
All right, for all you beautiful people out there, Americans wake and bake more than anyone else. It's a article by Zach Harris. The Global Drug Survey announced that Americans get stoned in the AM more than anybody else.
Are you a wake and baker?
Yeah, sometimes. Not as much anymore.
Yeah,
You
Paulie.
were for a minute.
Yeah, because my stomach would hurt in the morning.
I am not a wake and
Me
baker. I
neither.
don't smoke until I have my shit done, or even if I don't have shit to do. I really don't like to smoke until like 5 or 6, because I can't go in public when I'm high. My eyes are closed.
Nice pair of Ray-Bans. Fix that.
Yeah, my eyes are red and closed. I just am not an in public smoker that much. So I keep it to night because then people don't notice.
In the great words of Hyde from That 70s Show, keep yourself pure till 2 o'clock.
That's
True.
probably about right.
So 21.9% of Americans light up within the first hour of waking up. The next closest is Mexico at 18%. Shout out to our brothers to the south, because our brothers to the north are at a whopping 14.9%. So they're a little bit lower, but we're just absolutely killing it on the wake and bake front. Losers on that side are the Netherlands at 3.6%, Iceland at 4.8%, and Germany at 6.3%. They do not wake and bake within the first hour, but if you look at them, they're more of an increased tobacco usage.
Yeah, I'm not. The only time I would say I would ever wake and bake would be after, if I know it's on a weekend, I have a hangover, and I wake up, I'll hit the pen, real quick, just to hopefully get me through that headache stage of the hangover and the aches and how shitty I feel.
Yeah, that's one. Like, what do you go to though? Do you go like an indica, or
Yes.
do you go for a sativa?
No, I go indica because I want the body high. I want my body to feel better.
I usually have a headache, so I go for the sharp sativa.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of microdosers too, people who just go throughout the day, just kind of taking a little hit here and there.
I'm like that with
Where the pen
edibles, and you
comes
guys know
in.
that
Yeah.
about me. I like to microdose the edibles. Like I can wake up in the morning after a weekend of partying and pop a 5 or 10 milligram edible. I can definitely do that, but getting up and smoking out of the Rick and Morty bong or a bowl has just never been my forte.
It's not your jam.
No, never has been. Because I guess the the edibles give me more of a body high. Where I could still use my brain and function. But the 2.5 milligram pills that I take every once in a while too aren't so bad because those are like nothing. It's like basically taking an aspirin.
It's really just gotten to the point for me where, like, if I do I have time in the morning to like take a quick hit?
Right.
It's like, nah, I'm busy, gotta go.
Yeah. When you were in college, because you just graduated not
college,
too long ago, were you a wake and baker like every day?
Oh yeah, I had the bong next to my bed raw. Smoke that thing, go to class, pass. Because I'm smart.
Nice. Well, hopefully this helps you guys understand what oils and stuff are, but what we're talking about here. But we're going to review this strain real quick. As you could tell now, it's starting to affect me. I am feeling my face.
I don't know why.
My face feels droopy.
Feel my face right now.
Yeah, my face is a little droopy right now. I can feel it.
I feel good. It's definitely an indica. I can tell because my eyes are slowly closing.
I feel like that droopy dog.
Yeah, you gotta go to work soon too. Paulie's gotta go to work. He'd be sitting like, oh man, what did I do to myself? You should pop that 5 milligram sativa watermelon right when you need it.
Just play the game.
Yeah, just play the game.
I'm already in. I might as well.
Might as well keep on
No,
going.
I feel good.
Play your hands, son.
I pulled my back this week, so I've been smoking at night to like be able to not be in pain. So my back actually feels pretty good right now, so that's good. I feel like indicas definitely relax my back better than anything.
I've been trying the sativa because I threw my back out 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
And I'm on like the comeback now.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Gonna probably throw it out again in a week, but
I don't know. I like this, and I'm smoking a chicken right now, so this is gonna be fun. Right now, I'm not
What
choking
kind of
the
strain is
chicken.
that?
Relax, buddy. Relax,
what kind
dog.
of strain is that?
I'm smoking a smoky chicken on my smoky hollow outside right now, and I know it's smoking really nice, so I'm looking forward to just being baked and smelling that smoke.
This is a really good strain, though. I feel it in my head a lot, though,
Yeah.
right now. I'm like, oh, shit. But I like GG4 a lot, so I'm not surprised that I like this.
yeah, this GG4 is a great one.
Yeah, when we were researching these strains they had, we bought 3 out of the 5 that they launched at the dispensary, and Zach, my bud tender, was like, dude, try. You're gonna like this one. He goes, I smoked it and I forgot what I was doing. He goes, I had a list of shit to do and I forgot everything I had to do.
It's not good, but I can feel that right now. I'm so spacey.
Shout out
off
to my
this,
boy.
kinda.
Shout out to my boy Zach for hooking us up with
Yeah,
that
don't
strain.
smoke this if you got something to do. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
honestly.
spaced as hell.
I am cooked.
Yeah, that's a good strain, boy. Whoo, it's kicking in. But we want to say thanks for listening to our show, and hopefully this helps as we all are baked right now and feeling real nice. But don't forget to take a look at our Instagram at Weedman420 Chronicles. Also, check out our Twitter at Weedman420Pod, and then shoot us an email at Weedman420Chronicles@gmail.com, and then check out our podcast on Apple Podcast, Buzzsprout, and Spotify. We want to thank all you listeners out there, all my burners. Keep on burning each and every day. Puff, puffing away.